Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the demo session for Primavera. I would like to welcome expert for today's session, Mr. Anudesh Sachan, sir, to begin the session.
Hello, very good evening, everyone. This is Anudesh Sachan. I'm working as a planning engineer with Synergies Global Services Private Limited. And today I'm going to take you Primavera session. So this is a demo session. All right. So basically in this section, we are going to discuss that what we are going to learn in this course. Okay. In this entire course, what will be the learning involved. Okay. So we are going to just discuss about the brief. Okay. And most importantly, what will be the topics which are going to be covered in the course, entire course, just during these 21 days. Okay. So without wasting much time, let us begin the session. Okay. All right. So hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay. So in this very first slide, these are the topics in a brief, if I'll say, these are the topics which we will be covering in this entire course. First of all, we'll discuss about the sequence of construction project. Okay, what is the complete life cycle of project development in construction project? Okay, what are the different stages involved? Okay, what are the roles and responsibility of a planning engineer in different stages? Okay, so this is going to be the very first topic, and then we'll learn the entire Primavera tool. We are going to do the complete planning using this particular tool, which is Primavera. Okay, you have MSP also in the market, but we'll be using this tool, Primavera, in this session. Okay, from basic to advanced, and then we are going to see advanced Excel features as well. All right, we are going to create dashboards. Okay, we are going to develop the PMS system in the Excel so that we can monitor our project as well. So we are going to learn planning, okay, as well as monitoring. Okay, so both the things are important, so we're going to discuss about both the things. Okay, how to define a scope, how to create a WBS out of a scope, these will be the discussions. And the most important, you can say unvalue concept, okay, or unvalue management, where exactly you can predict, okay, you can predict what is going to be the cost or what is going to be your total duration of the project, just looking into the current scenario. Okay, just according to the current progress of your project, you can predict the future. So we will be discussing about N value concept theoretically, as well as how we can do that, how we can perform it using the Primavera. Okay, making attractive dashboard for project monitoring. And resource management, completely we'll discuss about the resource management, what type of resources are there, what are roles, what are resources in Primavera, and how to manage those resources. All right, resource leveling, fast tracking, crashing, these are the concepts related to resource management. So we're going to talk in detail about this. Okay, and a bit about the different stakeholders involved in the project, okay, construction project, and a bit about risk management as well. Okay, how to mitigate the risk, how to do the planning of risk as well. Okay, all these things, and delay analysis. So in a brief, in a short, you're going to learn all these things in the coming 21 days in this session. All right, in this course. So now let us just, since we just have very less time, it's this session is of 1 hour. So I hope I'll try to cover everything within a short time, but if allow, then we will discuss further as well. We'll take 10-15 minutes extra, okay, because there are a number of slides. So let's see how we can cover all those things. Okay, so in a brief, if I'll talk about the nature of project, first of all, starting from the project, what actually is project? Okay, so if we talk about the project, okay, nature of the project basically, okay, so it have a specific objective to be completed within a certain specification. Okay, in a contract you'll find the different specification. According to those, you have to execute your project. Okay, have definite start date and end date. That means your project is time bounded. This is an important point to be noted. Have funding limitation, that is your project is cost bounded. Okay, consume human and non-human resources, that is labor, equipment, material, that is project is resource bounded as well. Okay, resource bounded. Project is also a resource bounded. To fulfill the required quantity needed, that is project is quality bounded. Okay, construction project itself passes through a variety of procedure and stages to become real, and that we'll discuss in the upcoming slide. So in this particular slide, if I'll say at the very first time, if I just want to define a project in a simple way, I can say project is nothing but a group of different activities or different tasks which are executed in a specific relationship. Okay, if I'll just add few of the relationships here, okay, and they will have a definite relationship among, okay, and once I'll execute and complete these activities, I'll say that my project has been completed. So this is a very general definition of project, and these are the nature of project. These are the nature, or you can say the characteristics of project. But from here, what is an important thing to take out, that your project is time bounded, your project is cost bounded, resource bounded, and quality. That means cost, resource, time, and quality. Okay, these are the four key parameters to monitor in any of the project. Okay, to make the project successful, you have to monitor these four parameters, and if you will, if you'll monitor them easily, and if you'll monitor them in a very effective way, your project will be successfully completed. Okay, so these are the key parameters in any of the project. Next, coming to what do you mean by project management? Okay, project management is an application of knowledge, skills, experience, tools, and techniques to project activity to meet the project requirement. A very general definition, whatever the knowledge you have, okay, how you'll manage the project and everything. You have different skills, you have different experience, okay, your experience and tools and techniques like Primavera and MSP. Okay, so using of all these things, using this all technology, knowledge, skills, experience, okay, to complete the task, complete the activity to meet the project requirement is called as project management. Okay, project management is the process of achieving set goals within the constraint of time, budget, and resources. These three. See, again, we have those three important parameters here. Okay, so these are the important parameters. There will be a constraint of this. There will be a limitation of these parameters. You'll have a limited time. You'll have a limited budget. You'll have a limited resources. And under that, you have to complete the project. Okay, so how you'll manage this is called your project management. In a brief, if we'll see, these are the four stages involved in any of the project: initiation, planning, execution, and controlling. Okay, in the initiation phase, what do? You define the objective and initial scope. Okay, financial analysis, what is the budget, from where you'll get the budget, okay, who is going to be the funding agency, and all these stakeholders analysis, who are the different stakeholders involved in the project, designer, okay, funding agencies, government agencies, so all those stakeholders. All right, then in a planning phase, and also you do here formal approvals. What do you mean by this? Let's suppose you are constructing a home, or you say you are constructing a road. All right, let's suppose you are constructing a road, so you need a land for that, and this land you need to take a permission. Let's suppose it is going from the forest, or you need to cut trees here. Okay, so to cut down the trees, you need to take an approval from forest department. So these are the formal approvals which are needed in the initiation. Then planning, you go with the detailed cost estimation and budgeting. Procurement planning. Procurement planning is nothing but, see, you procure your resources. It may be the material resources, it may be the human resources, it may be the machineries. So how you will plan that, at what particular stage you will need how many laborers, at what stage you will need what machineries, to plan those things, at what time you need what particular quantity of material. This is nothing but the procurement planning. All right, then team development, quality assurance, risk analysis, work breakdown structure. This is an important thing, WBS. Okay, in our detailed course, we're gonna see how we can derive this breakdown structure, work breakdown structure. activity sequence, and schedule development. These are the part of your planning stage. In the execution, award of contract, contract administration, execution as per plan, coordination between various agencies and stakeholders, okay, resolution of issues, and data and information collection. All right. And in controlling, monitoring against plan, analysis, catch-up plan, quality control, and risk analysis. So these are the different responsibilities. Okay. I'm just discussing in a very brief or very quickly in this session. Okay. We're going to talk in detail about all these things. Okay. And again, if you'll see, if you will drill down the further slide, if you will drill down that particular slide further, so from that 4, now we have got these 8 important stages. Okay, so first is concept. Okay, second is planning, then you do designing, award of contract, execution, commissioning, operation, and finally, after the completion of time period, demolition. So these are the important 8 phases in any of the construction project. We'll talk in detail in our course. And then if we'll see, okay, now we have very briefly, we have discussed about the stages involved in the construction project. Now we are going ahead and we will see what are the roles and responsibility of a planning engineer. Okay, what are the roles and responsibility of a planning engineer? So first of all, the role of planning engineer in construction project at site varies depending on these 2 factors. Okay, your role depends on 2 factors: type of company you are working in. Okay. Okay. So type of company you are working in, and the second factor is type of project. Okay. Type of project. It's not mentioned here. So the first factor will be type of company. Either you are working in PMC, project management consultant, you are working in EPCM company, engineering, procurement, construction. Basically, there's a difference between PMC and EPC, construction contractor, subcontractor. See, in a very brief, if I'll say that, let's suppose I'm a client. Okay, I want my house to be built. You are the person who will build a house for me and I'll pay for you. Okay, we have an agreement that is called as contract. All right. So I'm a client, you are a contractor. Now, I have given you a very big project. You cannot complete that complete project yourself. All right. You need a few other companies to coordinate. All right. So you will break down my contract into several parts and you will award yourself. Now you will have your subcontractors. All right. So this is a thing like client, contractor, subcontractor. Okay. And EPC, the company which is doing the engineering work, is procurement work and construction work, like each and everything. Designing is done by the company, procurement is done by the company, and construction also done by the company. So, and there's an important role of PMC as well. PMC is nothing but project management consult. It's a bridge between the client and the main contractor who is working on the site or who is executing the project. So PMC just works as a eyes and ear of the client. Okay, they will manage, they will coordinate between the person who is working on the site and client project to whom it belongs. Okay, so they will be working in between for the monitoring purpose basically. So your roles and responsibility will slightly change depending on these factors. Okay, then type of project. You are working on a railway project, you are working on and power plant, you are working as civil engineer in building construction work or whatever it is. Okay, so based on company and based on project, your roles and responsibility will slightly change. Okay, but the final goal is one only: to successfully complete the project. Okay, responsibility in all the phases of project, initial stage as well as during the project and closing stage as well. All right, so in a very brief, if I'll say, okay, I'm not going to discuss in detail about the roles and responsibility, otherwise it will take a lot of time. So in an initial stage, if I'll say, then the major responsibility is correct the planning related document estimation file, again hand over from the HQ. Right, basically you'll just shift to the construction site where actual construction is being done. Prepare, submit, and get approval label 4 construction schedule from PMC. So we'll discuss what actually is this label 4, label 5 schedule. We'll discuss in our course further. So basically you have to prepare a baseline baseline schedule. Baseline schedule is nothing but a planned schedule according to which now you are going to execute your project, okay, at the planning stage. So you'll prepare a baseline schedule using any of the tool, either MSP, either Primavera, okay, and you have to get that approval from the PMC. Plan for the budget required for the project. You'll do a budgeting, you'll do a planning for your budget to prepare procurement schedule, estimate, re-estimate, and revise the scope. If there is a scope change, then you have to work for the change of scope as well. Okay. Manpower and resource estimate. You have to estimate the number of resources required for each and every particular activities, weightages to the activity. This is a very important point. Okay. And then you have to develop a system so that you can monitor your project. That is nothing but PMS system. We're going to talk about this in detail our course. Now, during the execution phase, the main purpose will be reporting. You will be preparing daily progress report. Guys, please mute yourself. Okay. So you'll be preparing daily progress report, weekly progress report, monthly progress report. Okay. So reporting is going to be the main purpose. Monitoring is going to be the main purpose. Okay. And to circulate the target to achieve the circulating 3 weeks or 3 month schedule and get informed the status. So basically during the execution stage, your main task is going to be monitor the project. You will be the person who will monitor the entire project as per your baseline, which you have prepared in the initial stage, and you will be reporting to the headquarter, okay, or your senior management. All right. And if target is not being achieved, you have to do some planning. You have to take some steps so that the contractor who is working can achieve the target within the time frame. All right. Now, during the project closure, okay, on completion of construction phase, pre-commission. Okay, determine if project is completed within the budget and time. You have to determine at the end, okay, assess the weakness and strength of the project. You'll have to define these. Help project control manager at HQ or RO in project close out procedure. So these are the responsibility during the closure stage. So we have seen what are the roles and responsibility of a planning engineer. Now, coming towards the theoretical part of planning, or you can say scheduling or project management. You all have gone through these things. You have studied during your college. Okay. Two types of networks are there, PERT and CPM. Okay. PERT is nothing but program evaluation and review technique. Basically, it is used for R&D purpose or where that project has never been executed in the history. Okay. So for very new thing, you are gonna use the PERT, okay, where you don't know the time duration of the activity. Okay. They are highly variable when you don't know the estimated duration or estimated resources to be used on the activities. Okay. So basically you have no idea. For those kind of projects, you'll be using the PERT technology and the very common one, critical path method, CPM technology, which is being used by these tools as well. Okay, so we will be discussing majorly about this particular technology in entire our course, critical path method. Okay, it is used for those kind of project where you have already worked in the history. Okay, you know the time duration of project. Okay, you have a knowledge of resources which are going to be used. Okay, basically you have the estimated things. Okay, you know estimated quantity of material to be used. You have an idea of resources to be used. Okay, so in those kind of projects you'll use a critical path method technology. Okay, so here two important things come. What is critical activity and what is critical path? All right, now before talking about critical path and critical activities, let us discuss about the work breakdown structure. Okay, so according to the definition of work breakdown structure, it is a key project deliverable that organizes the teamwork into manageable section. Okay, the project management body of knowledge PIM book defines the work breakdown structure as deliverable oriented hierarchical demonstration of the work to be executed by the project team. The work breakdown structure is a hierarchical decomposition of total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish the project objective and create the required deliverables. Okay. Now, let us summarize this thing in a very easy language. What actually is work breakdown structure? This is nothing but what was the total scope of your contract. Okay. Whatever the total scope was there, you have just broken down that entire scope into different parts, and in such a way that you can monitor each and every component of your project. All right. So this is a very summarized definition of WBS. Let's take an example. Let's discuss with the help of this example. It will be very clear to all of you. Now, these are the different labels of WBS. All right. These are the different labels of WBS. Okay. Let's suppose I have a work. Okay. I have a work and it includes FOB. Basically, FOB is nothing but foot over bridge. So it have a construction of FOB. Just wait for a few minutes. Just mute yourself, guys. Okay.
Sir, you can mute everyone.
Just take care of that because I'm just sharing my screen again and again. I'll just have to stop it. Okay. So please take care of that. Okay. Okay. And for track work, I have again made it separated. Okay. Now, each and every works engages three different departments for the work. Okay. Western Railway FOB will have work related to engineering department, will have work related to electrical department, and will have work related to signaling and telecom department as well. So you might not be knowing about these different department works. We'll discuss in a further stage, but these are the different departments involved in the construction work related to railways. Okay. So what I have done in my second level, I have break down it into type of department, okay, based on the department. Now, what is the third level of WBS? Based on the contract. Let's suppose an engineering department was having 3 to 4 contracts, so I have divided it to different contracts. Similarly, for the fourth level, I have divided into location, based on the location. Okay. In the under this particular contract, I'm working at 3 to 4 different places or locations. So I have break it down into 4 different locations. All right. Now coming to next. Okay. These are my EPS. Okay. Based on approval, procurement, construction, milestone. I have break it down on the type of activity. Okay. These are not my activities. These are type of activity, or you can say a sub WBS. And again, let's suppose if I'll take one component from this construction, further I have break it down into foundation, substructure, superstructure, roof structure, staircase, and skywalk like this, right? And the very last level of my WBS will be my activities. So I'm not talking about these activities as of now. I'm talking only about these particular labels. So what I have done here, if you'll see, I have break it down the entire scope of my work into different components. Okay, into different labels. So now what is benefit of that? Let's suppose my management will ask that what is the total progress in engineering department. Okay, so I already have a breakdown of engineering section separately. Okay, if I just look on this particular thing. Okay, if I just take a look on this section, I have break it down into based on the department. So I can tell him the progress of engineering department individually. Let's suppose he asks me that give me the progress of lot 2 contract. Now I have break it down based on the contract as well. So I can give him the progress of that. Let's suppose my management asks, give me the progress of foundation activities only. I just want for the foundation only. I can give him for the foundation as well because I have broke it down into different components. All right. So this is the beauty of WBS structure. The way you have made your WBS structure easy, you have broken down the entire scope so that you can monitor each and every component. Okay. So this is how you have to work for WBS. We'll discuss more about this. All right. Now, this is a basic, basic layout of the schedule. Okay. This kind of schedule you are going to see in the Primavera. Now, basic terminology is related to Primavera. Okay. Basic terminology is related to Primavera. Activity IDs. Each and every activity in the Primavera, when you will be preparing your schedule, you'll have to give a unique activity ID. Okay. Let's take a simple example here. If this is my activity ID, so DES is denoting that this activity belongs to detailed engineering survey. Okay. And GJ denotes that this activity belongs to the WBS of Gujarat state. This is nothing but the location. All right. And 001 is the activity ID. All right. So this is something we can give the activity ID for our activities in the Primavera. Now, activity name. This is also a basic terminology. Duration. Okay. We'll discuss more about the duration. Okay. How you can predict the duration of your activities, how you will calculate the resources according to CPWD norms and all. We'll discuss in detail. Now, as of now, this is only enough that for calculating the duration, you can use any of these things. Resource and productivity analysis, we're going to see based on the productivity analysis. For similar kind of project executed earlier, if you have executed the same kind of project earlier, okay, based on that also you can predict the duration. And then expert advice. Okay. Project start date, project finish date, and actual start, actual finish. Okay, these are the terminologies. Now you have early start date, early finish date, late start, and late finish date. All right, we'll discuss about these two, these all dates. Now, if we see about the relationship in Primavera, okay, commonly you'll find these 4 kind of relationship in which this start to finish is not used. Okay, basically we are using these 3 types of relationship. We'll discuss more about this, why we are not using this. But if we'll see these finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, these are the 3 common relationships which are used in Primavera. Okay. So here, if you'll see, you have finished the activity A and then you are starting activity B. Okay. So this is finish to start and your A and B are finishing parallelly. Okay. So this is finish to finish and your A and B are starting on the very same day. So this is having a relationship of start to start. Now you have one more, you have one more concept in this, that is lead and lag. Okay. Lead and lag. So we'll be discussing about those also. When you will use lead, when you will use lag. All right. This is lead and lag. What is this? Nothing but, let's suppose this is your A activity and this is your B activity. If I would have given a relationship of start to start on these 2 activity, my B was going to start from this place. Okay. But what happened? I have given a positive lag of 5 days. All right. So what is happening? Let's suppose this activity starts on 1st. Okay. Now, what was happening if these 2 were starting on the very same date, first? But now what will happen? This will start from 1st and my B activity is going to start from 6th. Okay. So I have given a 5 days of lag. Okay. Now, where you can use this type of concept, take a very small example, take a very simple example. Let's suppose you are constructing your house. Okay. And you are excavating pits for the foundation. Are you going to wait to excavate all the pits? Let's suppose you have 30 pits. Okay. Okay. For the foundation. So are you going to wait till you complete all 30? No, you'll parallelly start the work. All right, you'll parallelly start the work. So this is where the concept of lead and lag comes in a role. Okay. Similarly, if you'll give a negative lag, okay, this is a 5 days negative lag. So A was starting here. Now B is going to start before 5 days of starting A. So this is lead and lag. Okay. Now we have in a previous slide, we left with the critical path and critical activity. Okay. So what is critical activity and what is critical path? Right? Critical path. Anybody from you? What is critical path? Can anybody tell? You have already studied about this forward pass and backward pass during your college days. But what is actually the critical path or critical activity?
Longest path, sir.
Okay, so a bit of correct answer. If you'll see in the theory, you'll find the same kind of answer. Critical path is the longest path. Okay. What else? You have heard about the term float. Okay. You have heard about the term float. Okay. So you have heard about the term float. Okay. Float, total float, free float and all. So if you'll see in a theoretical part, it has been written if the total float, if the total float of activity is 0, that means that is, please mute yourself here. Okay. So if the total float of activity is 0, you call it as critical activity. Is it important every time? Is it same? Theoretically, this is a correct definition, and all the path which contains all the critical activities is your critical path. Okay. And that is nothing but the longest path in the schedule. And that's very correct. Okay. But it is every time correct that the activity which will have a total float is equals to 0, they are only the critical one. Okay, we'll see in the course. Theoretically, it is correct. Okay, now coming to the forward pass, if you'll see the network, okay, you all have solved these kind of networks in your college. Okay, forward path and backward pass. So basically, in a previous slide, we have seen early start, early finish, late start, and late finish date. So forward path is used to estimate the early start and early finish date, and backward pass is used to estimate the late start and late finish date. Now, how you will estimate this? Let's suppose these are the different activities. This is activity A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, these are the different activities, and these are the duration of activities. Okay? These are the duration of activities, and this shows the relationship. So if you'll see, A, B, and C is starting on the same day. That means these all three have a relationship. What relationship? Start to start. They all are starting on the same day. Correct? 1st of January 2008. 1st of January 2008. 1st of January 2008. All right. Now, how you'll get the, this is the early start date. What is early finish date? The earliest activity can start is the early start date. The earliest activity can finish is the earliest finish date. How you will find the earliest finish date? Nothing but early start plus duration minus 1. Okay, 1 plus 12 minus 1 is equals to 12. So you'll get for all these three, okay, early finish date. Now you have a relationship. If you are finishing this activity on 12th, and these two activities, this one and this one, have a relationship of finish to start. So this will start from 13th. Yes, because you are ending this activity on 12th and having a relationship of finish to start. Okay. So 13, you have got the early start date. You'll get the early finish by this formula. Now you have to take care at this particular activity. What is there? These have two predecessors. Now let's suppose this is your activity. Okay, this is your activity. Let's suppose B. So activity which you have finished before this is called the predecessor, and activity which you are going to perform after this is called the successor activity. So this is the concept of predecessor and successor. Okay. Now if you'll see, on this particular activity, okay, it have two predecessors, and relationship is finish to start, finish to start. You have ended this activity on 15th, you have ended this activity on 7th. What do you think? When you can start this activity? Can you start this activity on 8th? No, you cannot start even you have completed this activity, because it is linked with these two activities. Until unless you finish both these activities, you cannot start this activity. All right. So the latest you are going to end on 15th. So you can only start this activity on 16th. Same is happening here as well. It have two predecessors. So you have to see the longest date, 27th. So you can only start this activity on 28th. And in this way, you will find the early start and early finish date. And using the backward pass concept, okay, let's suppose in the forward pass, you have got the final finish date on 30th January. So 30th January 2001 is going to be the latest start date, sorry, latest finish date. Now here, how you will find the latest start, latest finish minus duration plus 1. So 30 minus 3, 27, plus 1, 28. So this is how you have got the latest start date. And in the same way, you'll execute this backward pass and you'll get the latest start and latest finish dates. So using forward pass and backward pass, you have got the latest start and latest finish date. Now, formula for free float, what is the difference between free float and total float? Okay. Free float of an activity is the amount of time by which the activity can be delayed without delaying the successor activity. Okay. The amount of time by which you can delay any activity so that its successor activity does not get delayed. Okay. That time duration is called the free float. And the formula is this. Total float, amount of time by which you can delay an activity so that your complete project, okay, or you can say the finish date of your project does not get delayed. Here we were talking about the successor activity. Now here we are talking about the entire project. So what is the formula to calculate the total float? Late start minus early start, or late finish minus early finish. Okay. So this is the difference between free float and total float. All right. So this is nothing but the same activities we have kept all together: early start, early finish, late start, late finish. Okay. We have kept the three activities which are in red color. Okay, which are in red color. These are nothing but your critical activity based on the theoretical concept. What we have done, we have added a formula. We have find out the total float and free float for these three activities. For these two activities, this is the total float and free float. For this single activity, this is the total float and free float. Now, if you'll see, free float and total float is 0 for these three. That means these are the critical activities, and all else activity does not have total float is equals to 0. So they are not critical in this particular scenario, in this particular case. Okay. And talking about the longest path, if you'll see, okay, the duration is 12 plus 15 plus 3. That means total duration is 30 days. Okay. Take an example of this path. Okay. 15 plus 10, 25, and 3, 28 days. Okay. Take an example of this path. 7 plus 10 plus 3. That is 20 days. So which is the longest path? This one is the longest path, 30 days. And this is nothing but your critical path. All right. It have all your critical activities. So this is the theoretical concept how you will find out the early start, early finish. Okay, critical path, critical activities. But this is okay to do when you have a limited number of activities, 5, 6, 10, 20, 50. But what when in your major projects you have activities 2,000, 500, 5,000, 1,000 activities, 1,500 activities. Okay, and you are updating it on the monthly basis. That becomes very critical, and that's where your Primavera and MSP comes in a road. We're going to discuss the complete Primavera in detail. Okay, in this entire course, Primavera uses the same thing. Okay, okay, but when you'll have a number of activities like 2,000 or 3,000, it makes you difficult, okay, to go with this thing in a theoretical sense. So we will discuss this thing in theory also, and we will discuss in the Primavera also. Okay, so what is the difference between baseline schedule? Okay, what is actually a baseline schedule? I have already discussed with you. This is nothing but the planned schedule according to which you are going to execute your project. So if you'll see, this kind of bars representation is nothing but the Gantt chart. It is called as Gantt chart. Okay, so in Gantt chart you'll find two bars. Okay, basically generally in a by default you'll find a yellow bar that will represent your baseline. So this bar is representing your baseline schedule. Now once you'll update, let's suppose you have planned an activity, you'll start from 1st of January and you'll end it on 7th of January. But what happened in actual? You were got delayed. Instead of first, you started on 4th and you ended on 10th. Okay, so what is this? This is nothing but the variance. So this representation is called as Gantt chart, okay, which we will see in Primavera. Okay, and this variance and all these things will help you to determine the delay in your project. What is the sequence of project? Okay, process of preparing any schedule in Primavera. You'll have to prepare EPS. Okay, EPS structure, enterprise project structure, OBS, organization breakdown structure. Then you create your project, you assign your calendar, you prepare WBS, activity, you define relationship, add your resources, then here your baseline completed, and then you update that schedule and monitor and control on the daily basis. So this is a kind of flow, okay, of Primavera, all right? A lot of different concept is included within these things, okay, within these stages as well. Okay, these are the basic requirements which you need to construct any schedule in Primavera. Project start date, okay, finish date. It is not mandatory, but if you have, then it's okay. Or else we don't provide this constraint. We'll discuss in detail about the hard constraint, soft constraint. Why do we don't prefer to give the finish date and all things, okay? When we will discuss the concept of constraint, okay? Scope, you need a scope to finalize the WBS, okay? Finalization of label of work down structure, okay? You need to define a calendar. You need to have a list of activity, expected duration, logical sequence, and constraints, or you can say relationship, lead and lag, all these things. So these are the basic requirements to construct a schedule in Primavera. Okay. Now, before we move, let us talk about a very important concept. Now you have seen a bit of things, you know. Now you must be knowing a few of terminologies related to planning. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss a very important concept. Okay, that is a weightage. You have already seen that planning engineer have a core responsibility of providing a weightages to your activity. Now, what is weightage actually and how it will help? All right. Weightages to the construction activities reflect to the importance of the activity in the complete overall project progress. Okay. So what is, this is nothing but take a simple example. In your colleges, in your school, you have all have given your exams. Okay. What was happening? 70%, 70% marks to the subject were given based on your theoretical examination and 30 were given based on your practicals. Okay. So they have nothing they have done. They have just divided it into weightages. With 30%, if you'll complete your theory successfully, you'll get 70 marks. If you'll complete your practical successfully, you'll get the 30 marks. Okay. So overall, your 100% project will be completed, or 100% marks you will achieve. Okay. But the condition is you have to complete those things. Okay. What was the change there and here? That even if you don't score 70, you score 65, that was okay. But here you have to complete the project all 100%. Okay. Just a small example what actually the weightage is. Now talking about this constructions. Okay. Let's suppose take an example here. A task planned for 40 days, okay, involves 10 workers on site, is more important than the another task which is done by a single man in 2 days. Obviously, a task which have a 40 days of duration, okay, and have an involvement of 10 workers is more important, that is more critical as compared to an activity of 2 days and which require an effort by a single man only. All right. So this is nothing, this is a generalization that, yeah, this particular A task will have a more weightage. Okay. Now, suppose the entire project consists of only these two above activities. Okay. On the completion of any one of the activities, you cannot say that 50% of project has been completed. Okay. This is a wrong statement. Now, what is trying to say is that you cannot divide the weightages like equally. Okay. If you have only two activities, you cannot say that my activities will have a 50% weightage. And when my one activity will complete, I'll say that 50% project has been completed. Let's take one more example. Let's suppose for designing and procurement, you have given 25% weightage. Okay. Or let's suppose 30% weightage. And for the construction work, you have given 40% weightage. Now what happened? You have completed your design, you have completed your procurement work, but you have not started your work in the site. Now, let's suppose your client asks that what is my progress of project? Okay. Based on the weightages, you'll say, or based on the progress, you'll say that 60% project has been completed because 30% you have given to design and 30% you have given to procurement. Now, the client comes to site and he sees that there is no work done. All right. Then he will ask you how you have achieved the 60% rule. That is not correct. But that happened because you have wrongly distributed the weightage. So weightage is very important concept in planning. We'll discuss in detail. Okay, what are the different factors you should consider in, giving the weightages and all. So basically the thing is you cannot divide the weightage equally, if you can see in this slide. Let's take an example of second slide. What many people, what they do, they just derive the weightages based on either efforts, either cost, either time duration. Okay, either time duration. All right. So tell me one thing. Take an example of this. These are the activities and these are the cost. Okay, and I have given the weightages like this. Okay. Is it important that the activity having longer duration is more important or critical? Okay. Or activity more cost is important than the other activity? Take an example of casting of slab. Okay. Casting of slab. Okay. If you are giving the weightages, till now you are giving a weight based on the duration. Casting of slab will require less time. And painting a wall, a room will require more time. Or you can say, plastering a wall or entire house will require more time as compared to the casting of slab. Okay. So if you are giving based on the duration, you'll give weightages more to plaster work. But what actually is important? Is it like casting of wall will take a less time, so it is not critical? It is. So what we can understand, that weightages should not be given based on one single parameter. Either it is efforts, either it is cost, either it is duration, or whatever. Okay. We'll discuss what are the different parameters. These are the different parameters which we will consider to allocate the weightages. cost, duration, efforts, criticality, risk involvement, and all these parameters we are going to include, okay, to give the weightages to our activities. All right. So we'll see how to derive a weightages using all these 5 parameters. All right. Now we'll also see how to give the weightages to different activities and to different WBS system. Okay, this is going to be an important concept. These are the sequence of activities for a general construction work. Okay, these are the different types of activities used in Primavera: task dependent, resource dependent, table of efforts, start milestone, finish milestone, WBS summary. We're gonna discuss all these things in detail. Okay, project stakeholders management and all right. So this was just a brief about this course. Let us move ahead. And okay, okay, so we have seen the concept of weightages. Now where it is important, you have heard the term of S-curve in planning, and that is very important. Now how you can make this S-curve? If you'll see on this curve, you have 3 different color lines. Yellow represents the planned one, blue represents the actual, and green represents the expected. That means you are also predicting the future, all right, based on the current trend. So this S-curve is a very important tool. As a planning engineer, you should have a knowledge how to prepare a S-curve. Okay, and that you'll not found on YouTube or somewhere. Okay, they will just take a very, that is not the, I'll say that is not the correct way how you will derive the S-curve. So you need all these information to derive a weightages, sorry, to derive a S-curve. See, this is how you'll construct a S-curve. All the activities, you have to see what are the weightages for different WBS label. Okay, what are the different weightages for WBS label, what are the weightages for activities, and based on that, for each and every month you'll find out the cumulative progress of your project. Okay, if you'll see here in this table, it have planned monthly, actual, expected monthly, planned cumulative, actual, expected cumulative. All right, so we'll be seeing that how we can use this data from Primavera to prepare the S-curve, and you need a bit of information. Okay, so we'll see how to make this. And similarly, when we'll talk about the dashboard things, if you'll see, okay, so we gonna make these kind of dynamic dashboards also using Excel. Okay, so we'll be using these, how to prepare these dynamic dashboards, okay, in Excel. This is nothing but the PMS system, how to, how to just see the cash flow and how to prepare this timeline, this dynamic timeline, right? And this monthly update system, basically what is this? You don't have to do anything. You can prepare a monthly or you can prepare a daily progress system based on your scope, however you want to divide. So what you have to do simply here, let's suppose on the month of December, okay, on the month of December, okay, you have completed 10, okay, 10 number of scope, okay. So just I have to enter here 10 and I'll see my progress here. This is 70%. If I'll decrease it 5, you can see the change here. So all this is possible based on the concept of weightages. You have to know the concept of weightages, then you can derive only this kind of thing. Okay. And similarly, we'll see how to manage the complete data of your project. Okay. So that you can develop this kind of system. All right. So these are the few things which are going to be the part of our course, although there are a lot of things. All right. So we'll discuss each and everything in detail. There are a lot of important concepts. Just because of the time constant of 1 hour, we are not, this is not possible to, just give you a brief of each and everything. So this is all from my end. If you have any question regarding to the course, you can just ask. Thank you. Any question, anybody related to course or whatever we have seen till now?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, can we get details of the resource loading, resource smoothing in your course also? Detailed one.
We'll see the type of resources. We'll see how to load the resources. Okay, how to manage the resources on Primavera. Okay, we are going to use the different concept of duration type. Okay, different types. See, there are different types in Primavera, how you can update the progress. Okay, so that is also important. So we're gonna see that also. We are gonna see resource leveling. We're gonna see crushing and fast hitting. So these are the things which are related to that. So definitely we'll talk about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Without Primavera installation in our computer, how to see what? Shiva, you have posted a question, but the question is not clear. You can use the latest version. Right now I'm using 19.
Sir, good evening. Without sorry, there is a network problem in my side. So
No
if we would like to learn this one, Primavera, if we don't have copy or some trial version or something with, so it is impossible to learn or understand the its method.
You have a laptop?
Yes, sir, we have.
Yeah, so you don't need to install any trial version or anything. Primavera is available, completely free on the website. Or from the it will be a genuine copy from Oracle itself.
So if we would like to join the course, means we have to download we have to install in our system.
It's free of cost.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's download.
It's for students.
Basically, you don't need to pay for Primavera. Primavera is available for free for students or professional, everyone. From the genuine website, Oracle.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So before joining a course, we need to install this one.
We will be sharing the link, or on the very first day of the course, we'll discuss how to install the Primavera also. Okay, there are simple steps. You can go ahead and you can install the Primavera on the system.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a product of Oracle itself, so they don't charge you. It's a genuine copy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, one more request. Could you please share the slides so that I can share with my friends who are interested also, because we don't know after attending the webinar only we come to know the it's useful or how much it is useful to everybody. So I would like to share with others to develop.
I think we this session is recorded. Okay, so you'll get the recording of the session. You can.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anything else, guys? Any other question?
Yeah, good evening, sir. This is Ronak from Delhi.
Very good evening.
Yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer and currently working in L&T. So just right as of now, my aim is to get knowledge of Primavera because I might be working in future. So do you see any issue being a mechanical engineer while going through the course? I'm aware of all the terminologies of civil engineering.
Correct. No, you can use it basically. Either you are a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer or civil engineer. There's
Okay.
no constraints. Okay. You
Okay.
can definitely join the session and you can learn the Primavera.
Okay.
But the thing is, see, because most of the student will be from construction background. I'm
Okay.
also from construction industry, and
Okay.
I just believe that you will be knowing a very basic flow of activities
Yeah,
on
yeah.
construction.
Correct.
We will be taking an example of construction activities only, so that is going to be a only difference. Or
Okay.
else you just have to grab the concept. Okay,
Okay.
like see, if
Okay.
I'll say that the weightages. So
Okay.
if I am telling the concept of weightages, taking an example of construction activity, you have
Okay.
to you have to apply that same concept on your mechanical activities. All right. So
Okay.
that is going
Okay.
to be the difference.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
Sir, excuse me, one more doubt. Is it necessary to get familiar with Excel for everyone who are interested to learn this?
No.
Or normal,
Basically, if you
basic
know
knowledge
normal
is
things
sufficient?
also, basic knowledge is sufficient. But when we will cover how to prepare a dashboard, like you have already seen the Excel file, I'll be telling you,
Yeah.
I'll be guiding you the completely how you will achieve to that level that you can make a dashboard. Okay, basically there
Okay.
are tools to make the dashboard, Power BI and Tableau, because we are not the IT professional and we are not knowing those things. Although, okay,
Exactly.
so we'll not be using those tools. All right. So we'll try to make that same kind of dashboard in Excel. All right.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
there's
you very
no
much.
need of that. Even if you know basic, that is enough. Okay. All right.
Sir, what will the tentative timing of the training?
At 21 days.
Okay. And evening, it will be evening in the evening?
Yeah. Evening, 1 hour. Sometime we take for 1.5 hours. It depends like how the flow is going. Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Recordings will be outside or not?
Yeah. Recordings are available. They will be available. Each and every day is recording you'll get for the revision.
Sir, evening at which time the course will start?
I think the timing is 7. Yeah, it will be like, it will be 7 only or after 7 also. Like it, most probably it will be from 7 to.
Okay, sir.
Because see, most of the working
Sir, one more doubt. Sir,
Yeah.
if you are providing a 7 o'clock, most of some people are working who are our office timings is 7 up to 7 o'clock. So could you consider all the person's request or is it fixed?
No. We just allow people to join the session at any of the time. Okay. That's not the thing is, but we will see that, like, see, last session which I took, that was the timing was 7:15 to 8:15. All right. It totally depend on the participants. If there will be a maximum number of students like who will be getting relieved from 7:30 or like that. So we just have to shift the timing. The thing is that everybody should be comfortable with the timing. That is the thing.
Yeah. We don't ask at night time, but in the after 10 o'clock or not at 9 o'clock. But if it 7:30 like this time will be comfortable. Okay, sir. It depends on the all the people who are interested to
Correct.
join same time batch, entire batch. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
So Hindi bench is also available or not?
See, Hindi batch is, there's no separate batch for Hindi. Okay, in Hindi or something, because. But if you have any doubt, I think, see, you are speaking in English, so you understand. I know that. but in some place you'll have a doubt. Okay, so you can personally ask those things if you have any confusion about any particular. Otherwise, see, I'm also not very fluent. Okay, you will be able to understand everything. If you know, if you have any doubt, you can just come up separately. But there is no separate session in here.
Okay, so thank you. Saturday, Sunday will be holiday or so working? It's a 5-day week or?
Saturday will be a leave, but Sunday will be a holiday, but Saturday we will be having a session.
6 days in a week, no? Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sir, if we have further doubts after completion of the course, is it available to like check the doubts and all
See
from your
what
side?
happened. Yeah, see what happened that in our class only we just organize couple of doubt sessions. Okay, and I think one session we take after the completion of course also. So like in a total you'll have 3 to 4 sessions of doubts, and on the daily basis I personally ask you doubts regarding to the current topics, and you'll be preparing assignments also. Okay, so I think that is the thing which will be enough to clear the doubt, and you'll have all the materials, you'll have the recordings with you, which will be helpful for you. Okay, and the thing is that you just have to start up and see, even if you'll have some doubts, I think if you'll be knowing the things, okay, I think if I'll guide you properly, you will be able to find the things over the internet. Right? So after the course, like if you'll ask me after 1 month, like so Protrainy will not contain a separate session for you, but like mostly we'll try to cover up the things as much as we can.
the completion certificate will be provided or not?
Yeah, all those certification and all, everything will be provided.
Level of a course, it's a basic or basic to advanced? Level of
What?
course. Level of course, sir. Basic to advanced or?
See, it will be an advanced one, from basic to advanced. We are going to cover the complete Primavera and most few of them, major topics as well. So like earned value concept is there, the sources concept is there, dashboard and all these things. So like you can see, there's nothing that so much advanced that it will not be, you will not be able to understand the things.
Oh.
But there will be some topics which you'll not found over the internet. You'll not find about the weightages. You'll not found how to prepare S-curve and all these PMS systems. So these are the major parts. See, learning a tool is an easy task. If you'll say me, okay, learning a tool is an easy thing to grab the concept. What actually, how you can monitor the project as a planning engineer. If someone will ask you how you'll monitor the project, see, you can learn how to click buttons on Primavera and prepare a schedule. Okay, but how you will logically check that? Those are the things which are important. Right?
Okay, so access for the recorded video, sir. Validity for the recorded session.
That you can discuss with the coordinator, or you can contact someone. That really I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
Validity about things. Okay.
Okay.
So if you don't have any further doubts, we can close the session. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.